Hi everyone, this is section 1.1 continued, day 2 from integrated 3 KC4. Okay, so today we are going to be focusing on graphs and zeros. Okay, so we've already learned quadratic functions and cubic functions. We haven't really looked into quartic or quintic functions, but that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so first one is quadratic functions. Okay, remember that quadratic functions have a degree of 2, which means that they would have 2 zeros. Right, so 2 x-intercepts. So generally, my graph would look like a U, where it crosses the x-intercept or the x-axis 2 times. The next type of functions that we've done are cubic functions. Cubic functions have a degree of 3, which means that they would have at most 3 zeros. Okay, so generally our graph will look something like this. We would cross the x-axis 3 times. Now a quartic function has a degree of 4, which means that it would have at most 4 zeros. Okay, now a quartic function is an even function, or has an even degree, so your graph would look something like this, where it crosses the x-axis 4 times. And then last but not least, a quintic function has a degree of 5, which means that it would have at most 5 zeros. So now you do need to remember that these graphs aren't going to look like this all the time. Okay, this is just a general picture. You also have to remember that sometimes you have multiplicity where you have bounces on the x-axis, so that counts as 2 zeros. So the graphs might look a little different. Okay, but generally this is what our graphs would look like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple examples. It says given the function f of x is equal to x times x, 3x minus 2 times x plus 6. I need to identify the zeros and then graph those zeros. Okay, so remember, all I need to do to identify the zeros is set my equations equal to 0. Okay, now I have two things in parentheses, but I also have a variable outside of parentheses that's alone. So I need to set that equal to 0 as well. Okay, so the first one, x is equal to 0, is already done for you. So I have 0, 0 as one of my zeros. Second one, I add 2 to both sides. I get 3x is equal to 2. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 2 over 3. Okay, if you like, you are more than welcome to change that to a decimal. You do not have to. Okay, so my coordinate would be 2/3 0. That is my other 0. And then finally, subtract 6 to both sides. X is equal to -6, so I have -6 0 as my other 0. Okay, now I am going to graph this. I have, actually let me draw this a little more. So I have space. Okay, so I have a coordinate at 0, 0, at 2/3 0, which is almost 3, so here somewhere, and then a -6 0. Okay, now because it has 3 zeros, okay, I have 3 x's. That means that this is a cubic function. Okay, so you guys should know that a cubic function looks like this. So that is my final answer, since it is positive, again, because my leading coefficient is positive. So you are not going in the other direction. All right, example number 2. I have given that f of x is equal to x times x plus 2 times x minus 5 times x plus 7. Again, we are going to set all of these equal to 0. So I have 3 parentheses and a variable outside of parentheses. So really, I have 4 different things. So I have x is equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0, x minus 5 equal to 0, and x plus 7 equal to 0. So the first one is done for you. 0, 0 is one of my zeros. Second one, x is equal to negative 2. So I have negative 2, 0 as another 0. Third one, I have x is equal to 5. So 5, 0 is my third 0. And x is equal to negative 7. So I have negative 7, 0 as my fourth 0. So this has 4 zeros, which means that this is a quartic function. Okay, so we should know what a general quartic function looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my graph. And this is a sketch, so it does not have to be perfect. Okay, so I have a coordinate at 0, 0, negative 2, 0, 5, 0, and negative 7, 0. Okay, this is a positive function, so the arrows are both going to be going up. So it's going to look something like this. Again, this does not have to be perfect, as long as it passes through the zeros, and it is a quartic graph. Okay, and that's it.